Hey everyone, I'm back. You're here. We are at the podcast, Teacher Says Podcast. It is great to be back. As you all know, it's been a couple weeks. Had to get over the holiday hump, and the holidays were not the best this year, not at all. And especially since I really, really, really do love Christmas, it was very kind of um I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Anticlimactic. That's the word. Anticlimactic. That during the holiday season. But enough of that. We're back. Let's get straight to the point. It's going to be a short episode today. We've been having a lot of little short teaser episodes lately because of trying my best to have somewhat of a consistency and still being bombarded with work, uh, both work outside the home and work inside the home. Regarding work outside the home, I work full time. I have active children, etc., etc. You all know the drill if you've been listening to the podcast long enough. So, I have a new initiative this year and 2020, and that's for the month of January. 31 days of hustle. Let me tell you about this. There are 31 days in the month of January. So, that's 31 days of opportunity for you to have money coming from what other side source that you can generate income. And I don't know, I feel like I want to do things differently in 2020. 2019 was not the best for me. 2020, I am manifesting, thinking, meditating, doing whatever I need to do to get busy. And so far, it's been 14 days in January. I've had a very interesting run. I went and got an extra side hustle for the past couple weeks, on top of my full-time job, mainly because the holidays were coming and I was in a pinch, like really panicked. I didn't want to disappoint anyone in my household, meaning children. Regarding the holidays, just things had, my hustles have not been all that great the past year. And that's probably why the podcast kind of, fell to the wayside. But I've regrouped, restructured, organized, planned, etc. And I'm like, okay, I'm ready. 2020, yeah. So I know they say it takes 17 to 21 days for something to go from a thought to like a habit. And I feel pretty confident, like, my hustle, my drive is back because I want that same vibe I had back in 2000 and I believe it was 18 or 17. One of those years I did phenomenal. Like, was organized, I had structure going on, you know, and it was like a really good Christmas that year. I didn't go into debt. It was wonderful. Last year, that's all I have to say. I can't even make any comment other than. So going into 2020 and these past 14 days have been pretty good. I've done things a lot differently. So I'm going to start off with, having a loving heart. I don't know. That's probably not the word I'm looking for. But I'm excited to share with you some of the resources and tools and stuff that I have for $19.99. No, I'm kidding. No, for free. Like, seriously. I have some ideas and I'm floating around and, I don't know. I just feel like this year's going to be different. And I'm going to start off the month of January by giving away some free items. So if you check out my website or especially my Facebook page, I have a lot of freebies to give away, including my January planner, some templates, and being that I have a giving heart this month, I have a box for suggestions, a post for what else, what templates would you all want? I made a planner during my Christmas break. Made a planner for the year 2020. I'm actually selling that, but I am giving away the January portion for free. What else have I had? I made a ebook for getting started on Pinterest. Debating to give away some Pinterest pins. For people who probably don't know, I love Pinterest. It is the social media site that I'm actually like doing extremely well. I feel like I'm getting a lot better at making pins. Like I should put up my analytics because I have made a dramatic jump in the number of like interactions and people like taking close-up looks at my pin, close up looks at my pins and things of that nature. So I don't know, maybe because I like to practice Pinterest, I'm just getting better at it, and just overall like becoming the Canva queen. Uh, www.canva.com is phenomenal. It's kind of like a point and click version of Photoshop, and actually that's not fair to say. A couple years ago, I actually attempted to teach myself Photoshop, and I was selling t-shirts that I created online. I liked Photoshop. It just could be frustrating at times. I think I'm a person with something like that that's so technical. I liked learning it, but I needed someone to teach me in a like classroom setting. Doing the self-paced thing works for me sometimes. It depends on what I'm doing. But something technical, I really need like an instructor to help me. So there was that. Getting my virtual assistants business up and running, on a very small scale, like I said, because I got the job that pays the bills, so I definitely have to dedicate more time for that. But just something I could do on a smaller scale regarding resumes, Pinterest pins, things of that nature. So you can check that out on the Facebook page, which leads to another dilemma I'm having. It's like I have all these different pages. How can I just get everything on one? I have a WordPress website, and with the time that I have, because I'm a very stubborn individual, I like to try to do everything myself. But when I say my time is of the essence, it's of the essence. And of course, the full-time job always gets the priority. So by the time I get home and get dinner out the way, and get the homework out the way, put the kids to bed, it's like, okay, let me squeeze a couple hours of work in because I don't like to stay up too late. I don't abide by the whole, hustle never stops. I'm going to be up all night. Been there, done that. I don't keep it a secret. I'm over 40 years old. I need my sleep. I'm not try to get as much done. Fridays and Saturdays are the days that I can stay up a little later. But, weekdays, I got to get my butt up and go to work. And then on top of that, I got to get my kids up in the morning, blah, blah, blah. So, that's with that. Also, I've actually been doing Facebook and Instagram lives. And I actually had a little bit of an audience. It's fun. If you haven't seen my Instagram page or Facebook page, I'll leave that in the show notes. It's interesting, to have an audience, and I wish, like I keep saying, I wish I had more time to get everything done, but I don't. So it is what it is. But yeah, so if you join me on any of my lives, that's lovely. Definitely encouraging you, the month of January, to get your financial house in order. I know I'm doing that, and I've discussed it on my live. So if you go to my Facebook page, you can replay the live on how I made a little extra income off of Reddit. I know we discussed that before in season 1. In addition to that, also, using Dave Ramsey's resources. I explained, and I'll say this, being repetitive if you caught me on the live, but I'll say it on the podcast as well. I have a kind of weird love-hate for Dave Ramsey because there's a lot he says I agree with, and there's a lot he says I disagree with. He's like, get out of debt by any means necessary kind of like mentality. If you have to sell your car and take the bus, do it. I mean, I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but that's kind of like his mantra, his thinking, his way. And I'm like, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not taking the bus. I work too hard to take the bus. I would have to get up too early. No. And I don't even have a bus in my neighborhood technically. There's a bus in my city. I would have to walk like 2 miles to get to the bus stop. I just, I don't quite agree with everything. But there's a lot I do agree with. So for the month of January, I have definitely, made some personal sacrifices to, gain some income, as regards to not doing things I, normally do, just personal things like cutting down on my nail, beauty product, getting your nails done, all that type of stuff. And it feels good to say I can see a difference in my bank account. And plus, some of the stuff I guess I could do myself. When I was a teenager, I used to love doing my nails and putting acrylics on. But all that kind of went by the wayside. Once I started getting a little income, I went out and, was able to have someone to do it for me. So now it's kind of like, the thought, it's not really fun to do my own nails because I've been getting it done for a while, for a couple of years. But, it is what it is because, like I said, it's worth it when you feel like you're saving money. One of my goals that I had set in my planner was to get out of, not quite like the Dave Ramsey style where I'll be out of debt in a year, but pay down some debt on some personal finance debt that I have that I just need to pay down. So then there's that. So, also trying to get the show, have guests. I've been rolling solo a lot simply because it's easier for me that way. I love guests, but guests, you have to schedule. I like my audio to be a little bit better, which leads to a sidebar thought. When I go live, I look rough, and that's kind of like, I keep it very quiet, but I was a mass communications major in college. I'm a stickler for good lighting and, looking presentable when you're on TV. But when you're doing this independently and you're tired, that kind of gets thrown to the wayside. It still kind of bugs me. And hopefully when I have more time, i.e. the summer, I can operate in the manner I really want to operate. There's a lot of people who are saying, YouTubers and stuff, well, you got to go out that way from the get-go. And I'm like, it's something fun to look back on. Think about Oprah. When Oprah looks back on her early 80s stuff, I bet she's just like, well, she probably doesn't care because she's Oprah. She's worth millions, probably billions at this point. But it's like, oh, okay. So, 10 years down the line, when I look at my early lives and things like that, I'm going to be like, we all have to start somewhere, don't we? Kind of my mentality. But it is what it is. With that being said, I just went off on a tangent and I forgot my train of thought of what I was saying. And this would be the part where I probably would edit, but Teacher Says Podcast Season 2, we're going straight for it because I am tired. I've mentioned this before. I hate editing. And the funny thing was I found an editor over the summer, and I believe I mentioned this in a previous episode. I had some episodes recorded, edited, sounded good, and I just never put them on air. So maybe it would be cute to do a best of where I'm sitting there talking about the summer in the middle of winter or something like that. Yeah, so I don't know. That's it. I was just shooting the breeze with my fair weather fans. That sounds so negative. I hate when people say fair weather as a negative connotation. I don't think of you all as fans. You're just people who are sharing a conversation with me. But I definitely want to become more interactive. And like I mentioned before, you can, and I'll leave it in the show notes, go join me on my Facebook page. Like it, please. Nice to have a little bit of a crowd, a little bit of somebody knowing I'm out there. I have some freebies on there. You're more than welcome to take because they're free. And that's my goal for the month of January, is just to have some free things. I'll give out advice if you have any advice, if you have any questions for me. I'm trying to go live. If I go live, I go live on Friday and Saturday. And when I say go live, we're going to have our glass of wine, your margaritas, I don't know. I mean, we're not trying to be drunk in our lives. That's doing the most. But, it'd be nice to just have like a little cocktail hour, a happy hour, have you, during the lives. So that will be Friday, Saturday. Like I said, Facebook, Freebies, and, just follow me on Instagram, where I'm still trying to get more pictures up. It's a lot of just, quotes, my kids, and like I said, with saving money, I probably won't have any pictures up. So maybe I'll throw some retro pictures. I have some really glamorous pictures, glamour shots from the early 2000s when I lived in Los Angeles, but I don't think I'm going to throw those up there because that does not represent the teacher cess of 2020. That was 20 years ago. I look totally different, so, at the time I was like 23, so I don't know. I don't want to be false advertising myself. So that is all. So thank you for joining me. It's been a short episode, but think about all the other stuff that you could get done. Follow me on my social media. I'm Teacher Cess on every platform except for Pinterest, where I'm teacher_Cess. You can find that out in the show notes. Please get your freebies and some suggestions on what else you think I can make, what type of templates, because I'm actually having a really good time making free stuff on Canva. I just need to know what the masses want. What do you guys want? And that's it. So you all have an awesome week, and I'll see you sooner than later. Bye-bye.